SithTrooper Episode 9, Helmet Foam Build. Index. With this guide and templates, you can build this SithTrooper helmet from Episode 9, with EVA foam. There are two ways to make the helmet. The recommended is to use a combination of 5mm and 3mm foam thickness. The second option is simpler but less accurate, is using only 8mm foam thickness, and the strips are simulated with cuts. Remember, before printing, to validate the first page with the ruler, to make sure you are printing in the correct scale. Head strips area. First, we will make the parts with head strips. To assemble the molds, always follow the guide to see how they join. The other side will be done by inverting this mold, then we will copy the joining lines to the back side. For the base, we will use 5mm foam thickness. We will also draw the other part with the inverted mold. Remember to draw the union lines. Then we will draw inwards. Now in the mold, we will cut each line to be able to draw it on the foam. We will draw the line. We will invert and also draw the line on this. We will do the same with the rest of the lines. You have to be patient and do it quietly. Let's cut the sides straight. We will leave a leftover, so we can then cut flush. with something to shape, in my case a metal cup. We will give a little circular shape. We will use the longest strip we cut to draw the lines to determine the length of the strips, about 40 centimeters long, so that the strips are all the same. I will use a piece of plastic 3 mm thick. We will put cutter blades on both sides. With paper tape, we will fix the blades. Be very careful not to cut yourself. Try to have both cutter blades at the same height. Cover the entire blade with tape so you don't cut yourself. We simply cut and waste a bit of 3 mm foam thickness, but we achieve strips of the same width and precise. They are 3 mm strips, where there should be a space between each strip, of 1 mm or more. We will make the 13 strips necessary for each part, 26 in total. We will glue the 3 mm strips on the 5 mm base, using the guidelines. We will put glue only on the base, because it isn't possible to put on the side of the strip. We will place each strip on or between the lines drawn. We will do the same with the rest of the strips. We will do the same with the other side. A lot of patience. Once the glue dries, we can give more circular shape with the strips included. Head center area. For the central part of the head, we will use 8 mm foam thickness. Remember to draw the union lines and the centrals. Let's cut the sides straight. We will give circular shape. We will give circular shape. For this part we will use 8 mm foam thickness. We will cut along the line to draw it. We will cut the detail to know later where to glue it. We will cut the internal parts. We will do the detail with 3 mm foam thickness. We will glue the details. The sides of the trapezoid will be cut with the cut up. The rest of the sides will be cut straight. The same with the other. We will give a circular shape to the top area. We will cut superficially on the line, and later emphasize it with heat. Be careful not to cut too much. Front line. The front line allows joining all the parts that we previously made. We will use 8 mm foam thickness for the front line. We will cut the intermediate line to draw it on the foam. We will cut the sides straight. We will cut superficially on the line, and later emphasize it with heat. Be careful not to cut too much. Back bottom. We will use 5 mm foam thickness for the base. We will cut line by line, to be able to draw them just like we did in the head with the strips. We will cut the sides straight. On short sides, we will leave them with excess to glue the strips. We will cut the strips as we did before with the head, with 3 mm foam thickness. We will also do the wide strip, drawing in foam, also with 3 mm foam thickness. We will also leave an excess, to cut both foam's thickness at the same time, and flush. We will glue the strips. Cutting parts with strips. You have to cut carefully, to avoid taking off the strips. Joining head. The joints that have marked lines, we will only glue half inwards. We will join the side part with the front line. This is the side that we glue half, so that the line is marked. The short line here, we have to prevent it from being noticed. If you have lost the union lines because of the strips, you can redraw them with the mold. We will join the head part that has strips, with front line and side parts. Remember that the surface of the strips must be at the same height as the surface of the side part. Where you need, you can use paper tape to fix. We can give a little circular shape. Now we will join at the other end, the same parts. Remember that the surface of the strips must be at the same height as the surface of the other parts. I forgot to put glue here. We will join the central part of the head. Again, remember that the surface of the strips must be at the same height of the other parts. Also remember to use the union lines. We will join the rest. Again, remember that the surface of the strips must be at the same height of the other parts. Remove carefully to avoid taking off the strips. We will join the remaining parts. Again, remember that the surface of the strips must be at the same height of the other parts. If we have any left over from this tip, we cut it. We will join the back bottom to the head. Always use the central union line to join the parts. Again, remember that the surface of the strips must be at the same height of the other parts. You can give the head more circular shape with heat, but only from the inside. You can give more circular shape to the area that has the strips. Lower sides. The lower sides are the parts that are below the sides. As we did before, we will make a base of 5 mm and a top of 3 mm foam thickness. We will not need this mold. We will cut the internal parts to be able to draw them on the foam. For the base we will use 5 mm foam thickness. Remember to invert the mold to get both sides. We will cut along the line to make the 3 mm parts. For these parts we will use 3 mm foam thickness. We will invert the mold for the other side. We will cut the internal parts. With some metal tube we will make the circles. With the back of a marker we will make the circles too. It's a little bigger than drawn, but I will use it anyway. With a pin, we can remove what was left inside. We will make a cut joining the top of the circle, and another cut in the bottom center of both circles, but keeping the small curve. We will glue the circles. At the 5mm base, you can draw the details to know where to glue the 3mm parts later. With this mold we will draw the strips on the 5mm base. Always invert for the other side. Now we will cut each line to draw it on the foam. If we make a mistake when drawing, we can erase the wrong one with black marker. As we have done before, we will make the strips with 4mm distance. We will glue the strips. For this large we will use the mold. We will leave an excess of the side, so we can cut flush. we will join this other part on the base. We will also indicate the areas where not to put glue. For the other side we will do the same. For the other side we will do the opposite. First we will glue this part, and then the strips. And now we glue the strips. In green we will cut in 45 degrees with the cut up. In red we will cut in 45 degrees with the cut down. These sides, straight. The side with the cut up. The side, straight. The side with the cut down. The side, straight. We will cut along the line to draw it behind the part. We will draw lines parallel to the main one, 5 mm away. Now we will cut in V shape to facilitate folding. We will put glue on the cut to fix the fold. You can redraw using the mold, if the union lines have been lost. Upper sides. As before, we will make a 5 mm base and 3 mm deep. We will only use this mold for the moment. We will cut the internal details. We will draw the base in 5 mm foam thickness. We invert for the other side. We will cut this part to draw it, and later draw the strips. We will indicate with black, where we do not have to put glue. Now with 3 mm foam thickness we will make the details to put later on top of the base. We will cut this line to draw it. These strips are thinner than the previous ones. We need to use a thinner spacer between blade and blade. Previously we used both together to make it wider, but this time we will use the thinnest. Only the thin one is 1.5 mm or a little more. In order to later remove it, we will join the end of the paper tape. I know that there are specific tools to make parallel cuts, that I don't have at the moment. We will draw the strips on the base. We will glue the strips. Now we will cut the details. Do not put glue in the area we indicated. The same with the other side. We will redraw the perimeter with the mold to be able to cut correctly. With green, we will indicate the cut in 45 degrees with the cut up, in red the cut down. We will cut this side with the cut up. These other sides with the cut down. You can fix the cutting of the strips with scissors. These other sides with the cut down. This side, straight. This side with the cut down. The same for the other part. We will make a superficial cut on the line. Later we will emphasize it with heat. We will cut superficially along the line, and later emphasize with heat. Joining lower sides with upper sides. We will glue the upper side on the lower side. Here, we will glue in this way, where both edges will be attached at the end. Chin. For the chin we will use 8 mm foam thickness. We will cut the sides with the cut down, except the bottom side, that we will make straight. We will cut the longer sides with the cut down, the rest straight. We will cut the upper sides and the ends with the cut down. The rest of the sides with the straight cut. We will join the parts of the chin. We will cut the end perpendicularly, to facilitate the union with the chin. Joining chin with upper sides. Now we will join these parts of the chin with the upper side. To join this last part of the chin, we will cut behind. We will glue the bottom of the chin. joining sides, chin with head. Now we will join both sides, the sides and the chin with the head. To let the line be marked between both sides, we can put paper tape between the joints, approximately 1 mm on both sides. Once the glue has dried, we will remove the paper tape. We will join the parts putting the surface at the same height. Nose. At the moment we will only use this mold. For this base we will use 5 mm foam thickness. We will cut to draw on the foam. We will also cut this part to draw on 3 mm foam. We will cut line by line to draw it, and then know where to glue them. We will make the strips as before, the widest strips. The side with the curved line will be cut with the cut up. the same with the other side. Now we will cut straight with scissors on this side. We will glue this piece and then the strips. Remember to always leave the same distance between the strips. You may not respect the foam line drawings, but it always maintains the parallelity of the drawn lines, and the visual distance between strips. You can fix the distances with a cutter. There are 13 strips. The same for the other. With this mold we will highlight where to cut. We will cut several times gently, so as not to tear off the strips. Now we will cut the rest, always straight. with 5mm foam thickness we will cut with this mold. We will reverse the mold for the other side. We will cut the long side with the cut down, and the rest straight. The side with the cut down. You can optionally leave a gap as with the strips. Back nose. We will use this circle pattern to make the circles later, here in this area. We will cut the internal parts, to be able to draw them on the foam. For this piece, we will use 8mm foam thickness. We will reverse this piece to draw the remaining parts. We will cut this piece straight. We will transfer the lines of the central trapezoid to the back. We will draw the trapezoid from the back side. We will also continue the lines. We will draw parallel lines about 3 or 4 millimeters away from the original. We will cut diagonally, forming a triangle along the external lines. Be careful not to cut the foam on the other side, always reaching less than the center of the foam. Now we will put glue in the gaps. With paper tape we will join the cuts. We will cut the circle in this piece to be able to draw it. We will invert it to draw the other side. For this piece we will use 8 mm foam thickness. We will cut diagonally with the cut up. The other sides can be cut straight, but with a slight inclination, making the cut up. To make the hole you can use the back of a marker, or in my case a metal tube of the diameter of the circle. The same for the other. With 5 mm foam thickness we will make this piece. We will draw the lines with something finer. We will cut superficially without reaching the other side. To emphasize the lines we will heat. The sides can be cut straight, but optionally you can cut them with a cut-up. Before gluing the parts on the back nose, we will make the holes with the pattern. We will cut from the mold the area that will have holes. We will draw the area on the pattern. We will put paper tape on the paper pattern. And we will stick the tape over the area where the circles go. With a soldering iron, but with the inverted tip, we will make the holes burning. We will use the pattern to burn the holes. Once finished, we remove the pattern. You can highlight, so that they are all even of the same depth. The same on the other side. Also with heat, we will make the 4 small holes that it has. This time we will do it with the solder tip set normally. We will also optionally make a surface cutting line. We will do the trapeze with 5 mm foam thickness. We will cut line by line, to draw them on the trapeze. We will cut strips with the smallest measure. We will glue one by one, always leaving the intermediate space. We will cut the leftover with scissors. We will glue the trapeze in the center. Joining nose with back nose. We will indicate the distance and location of the nose. We will leave approximately 1 centimeter between each one. Now we will glue the nose over the back nose. to locate it, try to respect the drawing of the back nose. With 3 mm foam thickness we will make the teeth. We will make a strip with the width of the teeth. We will cut diagonally, adjusting each tooth. We will do the same on the other side. With the leftover strip of the teeth, we will cut a small strip of the width of the trapeze. We will cut a smaller strip like the mold, but with 5 mm foam thickness. We will make some marks that are all at the same distance. We will make superficial cuts on each mark. Now we will heat to emphasize the cuts. We will glue the line in the middle of the base we put earlier. We will cut the leftover, joining back nose with helmet. Now we will join the back nose with the main helmet. We will put glue only on one side first. Do not put glue on the trapezium area, nor put glue in the area of holes and details. If you have doubts about where to put glue on the inner side, you can cut the mold and measure. We will join the back nose with the helmet. Always join from the middle to the side where we put glue. Also respecting the drawing of the back nose. We will glue the smaller pieces on the back nose. Now we will glue the other side of the back nose. We will join the other side of the back nose. We will put the pieces of this side. You can adjust the pieces to fit. Optionally, we will cut a rectangle in 3 mm foam thickness. What we will do with the rectangle is put it behind the front. We will locate it so that it fits tight. You can give the distance down you want, but not too much, not more than 7 millimeters. Also add glue on the edges. So that the center of the eyes does not bother, we will hold back with the paper tape. If you want, you can shape out in this area. Bottom line. With 8 mm foam thickness, we will make a very long strip, 75 cm long and 10 mm high. We will cut this side with the cut up. And the other side straight. We'll put this one moved back all the way around. To put the glue correctly, we will put paper tape all the way around, approximately half of the 8 mm foam. We will remove the paper tape, trying to remove it out. We will put glue on the side with a straight cut. We will join the strip moved 4 mm inwards, and with the side that we have cut up, we will place it outwards. Now we will do the rest, but with a strip of both straight sides. We will cut the leftover. The same on the other side. We will cut flush. We will add the strip in the front, until closing the turn. We will have to cut at 45 angles to follow the movement above. Bottom. The last piece of the helmet. Reverse this mold. We will cut the entire outer curved side, with the cut up. The curved inner side we will cut straight. At the ends we will leave an excess to then adjust. We will cut all straight sides, except the shortest. We will cut that side with the cut down. To this small piece, we will cut with the long sides with the cut up. The other straight. We will join in this way. we will give this part a circular shape. Also with the tip of something rounded. Also with paper tape, we will fix the shape. First we will glue the front of the back bottom. We will put the glue on the back, not on the cut. On this side we will put on the edge. We will finally glue the bottom on the bottom line. We will join this half first. As we did before with the front of the bottom, we will put glue from behind, not on the edge. We will also put in this half the glue. We will use the center as a start to join. The bottom edge will be set at the same height as the helmet, not at the height of the bottom line. We will join the remaining side. With scissors, because it is not possible with cutter, we will cut this side, and this one, always straight. Now we will join the front with the rest, joining this side. center eye support. Now we will join the center of the eyes. We will put glue behind. Remember that the line that indicates the union is in reference to the front line, not on which we add later. If it makes it easy for you to put on the lens, by removing this connector, you can cut it and remove it. Sealing the foam with heat. Now we will seal the foam with heat. Heat's away, because 3mm foam is prone to burn. Inside you can heat closer. You can also shape as you want while still hot. Fixing some unwanted cuts. Here we have a cut that should not be seen. Also here and here. We will use this plastic cream to cover them. After letting it dry for a while, we will put water to level even more. Base paint with airbrush. We can use some support in the box to prevent the paint from going to unwanted places. It is important to wear protection to avoid breathing the paint. I will use this black paint that is plastic, similar to Plasti Dip. I will dilute the paint with water to apply with airbrusher. This paint when dry is very flexible and elastic, ideal for foam. We mix with water. We can also filter, so that the airbrush does not block. We put the paint in the airbrush container. I apply it with paint roller, but in this case, as the helmet has many cavities, I chose the airbrush.